Hey everybody, what do you say? Gannon here, JGA 59, and yeah, I'd like to cover a couple of things today. The first, taking a moment to recognize and remember solid major leaguer who played in the big leagues for 14 years, who passed away a couple of weeks ago, and his name was Tommy Helms. He played primarily at second base, but as you see from his 1967 Topps card, he also played third, and he actually, in the earlier part of his career, played primarily as a shortstop. He was signed by the Reds when he was only 18, spent a few years in the minors, had a couple cups of coffee with the big team, and finally became a regular in 1966. And they tried switching him and Pete Rose. Rose was playing second, and they moved him to third and put Helms at second. But Pete Rose didn't like third base, so they switched them back, and Helms played primarily at third that year. And he won the Rookie of the Year award that year. He had a great season. The next year, though, they put Rose in the outfield, and they gave Tommy Helms the starting second base job. He was a good fielder. He won the Gold Glove Award in 1970 and 71, and he was selected for the 1967 and 68 All-Star teams. Here is his 1968 card, 1968 Topps, and that's a nice card. I don't have a 69 card with me, but the 69 card is exactly the same as the 67 card. This is his 69 Deckle Edge card, and he also had an All-Star card that year in 69. The team moved from Crosley Field to Riverfront Stadium in 1970, and although Tommy Helms wasn't any kind of a home run hitter, he actually was the first player to hit a home run in Riverfront Stadium. I've also got his 1970 card here, and yeah, it's a nice card. He's got some cool-looking sideburns there. However, at the end of the 1971 season, he was traded to the Astros. It was a blockbuster trade. The Reds traded Lee May, Tommy Helms, and I can't remember all the players involved, but Helms went to the Astros, and then the Reds got Joe Morgan. He finished his career bouncing around to a few different teams, and he was a fan favorite, beloved by the Cincinnati fans. He was elected to the Reds Hall of Fame in 1979, and he did a little coaching in the 1980s with the Texas Rangers and the Cincinnati Reds, and was actually called on to fill in for Pete Rose as manager in 1988 after Pete Rose was suspended for a month for shoving an umpire. And the next year, 1990, I'm sorry, not 1990, the next year, 1989, Rose sadly was banned from baseball, and Tommy Helms took the reins again as manager for the rest of the season. He was hoping to become their regular manager in 1990. Players such as Paul O'Neill and Eric Davis were rooting for him, but the owner of the club, the infamous Marge Schott, did not pick Tommy. She went instead with Lou Piniella. They actually ended up having a great year in 1990, winning the World Series that year. But, anyway, Helms felt very slighted and was angry with Schott and kind of took an extended leave of absence from the Reds organization. He managed again on the minor league level, and he actually had two sons who played minor league ball. And he also had a nephew who actually made it to the majors. And he played for 13 seasons in the majors, and some of you might know him. His name was Wes Helms. So anyway, I just wanted to take a moment to remember Tommy Helms, who passed away not too long ago. The next thing I want to discuss today, I'll just put a couple of cards down. This is a custom card of, it's tilted. Got to work on my production. Whoops, got to get Willie in the picture here. All right, see, are we in? All right, well, the reason why you see Grover Cleveland Alexander and Jackie Robinson and Willie Mays together here, I got to get my, well, anyway, I'll maybe move the camera back a little. All right. Is because, well, we all know that Grover Cleveland Alexander was named after a president, Grover Cleveland. But believe it or not, Jackie, and just in case, a lot of you might know this already, but just making sure out there. Some of you may not know that both Jackie Robinson and Willie Mays got their names from presidents. Jackie Robinson was born on January 31st, 1919, which was only 25 days after President Theodore Roosevelt had died. And in honor of the late President Roosevelt, Jackie was named Jack Roosevelt Robinson. And Willie Mays, he was actually Willie Howard Mays. I don't know if it's Willie or William. I should know that. But I think William Howard Mays Jr., after his father, William Howard Mays Sr. And Willie Mays' father was named William Howard after President William Howard Taft, because Willie Mays' father was born in 1912, the same year during William Howard Taft's presidency. So his father was named after President Taft, William Howard, and Willie inherited that name from him. So this is my 1953 Willie Mays, tops my 53 tops Jackie Robinson. Okay, a couple more guys I want to feature here. And whoops, and now, what president was named Cal? Okay, the Jeopardy answer is Calvin Coolidge. He was the 30th president of the United States. And Cal Irmer, here you see his 1968 card. He was named after Calvin Coolidge because he was born a few months after Calvin Coolidge ascended to the presidency. After President Warren G. Harding died of a heart attack in 1923. His father was apparently a red-hot Republican, according to Cal, who also named two of Cal's brothers after Republican presidents, one being President Rutherford B. Hayes and the other one being Warren G. Harding. Cal, of course, was named after Calvin Coolidge because he was born a few months after Coolidge became president. And this is his 1968 card. He became the manager of the Twins early in 1967 after the Twins got off to a rocky start. And he actually almost led them to the pennant. That was one of the great pennant races, 1967, between the Red Sox, the Twins, the Tigers. There may have been one more team, but I mean, it was down to the wire. And in fact, the Red Sox were playing the Twins their last two games, and they beat them twice and won the pennant on the last day of the season. Yeah, I remember, he was like a mainstay in the. He spent like the better part of 60 years in the Washington Senators / Minnesota Twins organization. Washington Senators, of course. The Twins were, of course, previously the Washington Senators, and in 1961. The Washington Senators moved out to Minnesota, becoming the Twins. So Cal Ulmer spent his career mostly, or probably entirely, with that organization. It's funny. I was looking at a little story about Calvin Coolidge, looking up all this stuff, and it's a funny story. When Calvin Coolidge was vice president, he was like kind of a taciturn guy. A little bit withdrawn, didn't do a lot of talking. And he was at a dinner party one night, and a society matron said to him, "Mr. Vice President, I made a bet with my friends that I could get you to say at least 3 words this evening." And Coolidge apparently fixed a steely glare in her direction and said, "You lose." But that was a funny story. Our other Cal, yeah, a lot of you might know of him. His full name was Calvin Coolidge Julius Caesar Tuskahoma Miklish. And the story behind that is that, his father, John, and his mother, Lulu, were both part Native American, John Miklish being part Choctaw and Lulu Miklish being part Cherokee. And, that's where you get the Tuskahoma, Calvin Coolidge, Julius Caesar, Tuskahoma Miklish, because Tuskahoma is a Choctaw word meaning red warrior. And according to Cal, he said that until I came along, my dad never got to name any of the kids. So I suppose he was into the firewater, and he named me. So I guess, I gave him a lot of names to make up for lost time. But anyway, Cal Miklish was a pitcher, and this is his 1960 Topps Reds card. Very quickly, we were talking about Cal Ulmer becoming the manager of the Twins in 1967, and he took over for Sam Mealy. Okay. And here are a couple of Sam Mealy's cards, his 1967 Topps, as well as his 1949 Bowman card. And Sam Mealy, there's something interesting about his name. Let me see if I can find it. I wrote it down. Where is it? Yeah. Well, the Sam is actually a combination of, his full name was Sabbath Anthony Mealy. Sabbath Anthony Mealy. And so you put S-A-M together, of course, and you got Sam. So Sabbath Anthony Mealy became known as Sam Mealy. And he was the guy that Cal Ulmer took over for in 1967. Of course, Sam Mealy led the Twins to the American League pennant in 1965, and they lost to the Dodgers in that World Series. So anyway, that is what I have for you today. Please, comment and leave your thoughts. I'd love to hear from you, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.